Hello, welcome. I hope people can hear me. I feel like I'm covering up my microphone.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Astrology Insights on Sunday morning.
Astro Insights Live,
Astro Insights Live. Woo! Midwest woo!
Midwest Woo. Hello, hello. Thank you. Welcome. We're just going to wait a minute here to see how many people
Pop on and join us.
pop on to hear us talk about the astrology for next week and also a tarot card reading that is astrology led or based. Um, I have nothing to prop up my phone with today, and it's quite irritating. So you might see me moving about a lot, but or something. uh, this is really not ideal for me, honestly, but I do my best.
I think
So
it's, yeah.
we have a lot going on next week. No, I really need it. We have a lot going on next week. And first of all, I want to give myself a belated happy birthday. My birthday was yesterday. And I'm really happy that to be a Libra, to see the No Kings protests happening on my birthday was pretty cool. And trying to find a place to sit. This is so weird. So that was pretty cool. I'm really having a problem with the camera. So keep that up, but let's actually do some real actions to follow that up with, says this
Right.
Libra. And as Libra season is exiting, some more justice needs to happen in a lot of ways. So I was really
It's
happy
great
to
that
see that.
everybody showed up, but can we have a plan now? Yeah.
Yeah, it's great that we can all show up, but are we having a plan to get together in smaller groups? Do we have a plan, to go forward? But anyhow, I'm just happy to see that happening. I could feel the energy of that yesterday. It made me a little nervous, a little anxious, but it also made me very happy. So this is where we're at in the United States. We are protesting a king. And it's really reminiscent of some olden times, especially in astrology.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what we're talking about today. We're going to talk about the astrology for next week. And above me here is Melrose, and we are Rose Tarot and Astrology. And we are going to start off by talking about, I guess, today, right? And
Yeah.
we also have a new moon in Libra coming up that we will discuss. So,
Yes. Okay, so welcome to Astro Insights. I am Mel Rose, and this is your astrology for the week ahead. First, just starting with a catch up from last week. Venus moved on into Libra last week, Pluto went direct. We had some vibrations around Thursday that were like, hey, be careful. We might be a little too enthusiastic about something. Um, so, with Venus in Libra and the Sun in Libra, it's really nice, like Jennifer said, to see the No Kings rallies happening and people really gathering for the sense of justice that it brings. So, I think that's a great option, Jennifer. I love looking at your face, but if holding the phone is not working, then excellent. Um, Coming into this week, today is Sunday the 19th. The moon is also in Libra. So if you're really feeling that desire to find balance, if you're feeling like something is out of balance in your life currently today, especially in your private life or perhaps with your body, definitely, make note of that, pay attention to it, and try to understand what you need to do to bring things back into balance. Balance is a constant, it's a matter of being in constant motion and constant attention. Okay, we don't get to stop trying to be in balance. We don't just get things into balance and they stay that way. Unfortunately, it's a little like spinning plates. You've got to stay engaged. So stay engaged with your sense of balance today. Also, today Mercury is going to conjunct Mars. So that's the first thing that comes to mind is them is fighting words. Okay, so Mercury is in Scorpio, Mars is in Scorpio. That's where Mars is in its rulership in Scorpio. So Mars is very comfortable, very making plans and making strategic moves right now. Mercury wants to communicate about those plans and those strategic moves. That conjunction energy, it just makes it intense. It doesn't make it positive or negative. Okay, so that's about what you want to make of the situation. But definitely, you know, some of the words that we have to say, some of the plans that we want to make, the way that we want to express things at this time can come across a little bit abrasive, and we want to be aware of that. You know, aware of that, in that, like, maybe I want to try not to come across too abrasive if I'm trying to get a point across, right? But also, you know, like, we might realize that it might seem like somebody's being abrasive with us, but that's because they really want to get our attention and get a point across to us. Okay, so just be aware of that. That's what's happening today. Mercury conjuncting Mars. And then also today, the sun is in an adjustment energy to Saturn. So that's a little bit of, you know, in our work, social, and civic lives, you know, there might be something that we've been planning to do, that we want to do, that we're working on right now, and there's something that comes up about it that isn't quite practical, or there's something that comes up about the efforts that we're making that won't be quite practical for us. Forgive me. So, you know, if there's something that comes up, especially in your work, social, and civic life, that isn't practical, you're going to have to make an adjustment. And that's what's happening right now with Jennifer. This is her work, social, and civic life, and she's not able. She's trying to make an adjustment so that she doesn't have to hold the phone and make it wobble for us. So that's what's going on there. Coming up tomorrow is Monday. The moon will be in Libra tomorrow. And Tuesday is the new moon. And it's actually the new moon in Libra. We had the full moon in Aries just a couple of weeks ago. Now this Wednesday we have the new moon. This Tuesday we have the new moon in Libra, and it's going to be a new moon in Libra. So really, you know, we're coming back to that starting point of our creative cycle where we kind of have gotten rid of the stuff from the last set of challenges, and we are getting ready to take on the next set of challenges. We're trying to come to a place where I have a clean slate, so to speak. And in Libra, that's a clean slate where it feels like we have some sort of equanimity and balance in our lives, and especially in our personal lives. So if you're not feeling that balance and equanimity, I would say at this time, especially around Tuesday, it's a time to really turn within and see where you can find that equanimity within yourself, okay? Because Libra is about our relationships, but it's also, that means it's about who we are in our relationships, right? Sometimes the unbalanced factor is myself, and I've just got to bring myself back, you know, back into a balanced way of approaching things. Make sure with this week that you are approaching your problems, the problems you want to solve, the things that come up for you that are surprising, maybe disappointing. Make sure that you're coming to those things with as calm a sense of emotion and demeanor as you can have at this time. Okay, Jennifer, you look more set up there. I'm so happy to see it.
Yes, I heard you talking about the actual adjustments that I was making. I
It's
really
in
wanted
the
to be
astrology.
frustrated about it, but I knew that people would hear me cussing and throwing things, you know, if I did that. No, I'm just kidding. It's super frustrating, but
Yeah.
I think I got it situated. And I think I also had something to say about the new moon.
Mhm.
Yep. No, I don't have it situated.
Okay. Well, I know that something you had to say about the new moon was about having important conversations right now.
Yes, and I know that this still has, and I don't know that that aspect with the grand trine and air signs is still happening, but I'm giving this guidance to everybody because everybody needs to hear it because we all have these all the time. But what we don't have is the support and uplift of the astrology all of the time. Okay, so all of us have conversations we need to have,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's a hard conversation we're having with ourselves, with someone else. Um, it's time to have them. This is a really good time to be having those conversations.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not to say that there might not be some tension having these conversations. Like not every conversation is going to be a happy one. Not every conversation is going to have the ending that you expect or want. Okay.
You're not
And I
always going
think,
to hear what you want to hear. Yeah.
right, right. So I think at this point in time, if there's a conversation you need to have and you just really don't want to, as Mel said to me earlier, if you don't want to set it off, this is the time to not set it off. It's a time that you can set it off, but it's not going to be a huge blowout like it
Right.
might have been. And I
Mhm.
think that we have still a little bit of a window of opportunity here to have those conversations. But
Mhm.
then if we miss that opportunity, then we're going to hold on to that information that we're not sharing, and it's going to sit and fester. So we
Yeah.
don't want that to happen. We don't want that to happen through the darkest, time, the dark
Okay, year.
seasons, and
Yes.
yeah, we don't want to do that. That adds to our anxiety. It adds to just everything. So if there are conversations that you need to have, if you need to ask for a raise, if you need to tell your partner that there's something that's annoying them, if you need to out with it, if you need to say your piece or confess something, now is the time to do that, to have a good conversation, to be
Mhm.
open, to have it heard in a way that is more soulful and less judgmental. And I
Mhm.
feel like as long as you can hang in there for that conversation, as long as you can stay in that conversation, you will get
Mhm.
some healing from that, and you can move forward, and you can at least just like dump that kid off at the pool.
Yeah.
Just leave it where it is. Just dump that kid off at the pool and leave it there. It's got
Especially with
friends.
Mercury conjuncting Mars today as well. We do have that energy with us this week of, like, say the bold thing. Say the thing that's going to move things forward. Say the
Mhm.
thing that's going to push things into action and make the change because Mercury conjuncting Mars says, like, I want to do something. What am I going to do about this? How has this got to shift now?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now that you say that, that makes perfect sense about our conversation earlier. Okay. I'm quiet now.
All right. So Tuesday is that new moon in Libra. And so, as you're seeking balance in your body and in your personal life, especially, do have those important conversations. And they don't have to just be conversations with your close, intimate people. They can be conversations, in your workplace environment too. If it's something that you need to get back into balance, even if it means coming across abrasive, even if it means saying things you don't want to have to say. Now's the time to say it. There are beautiful, beautiful, symmetrical things happening above us, really, really encouraging us to say the words and take the actions that we need to take right now. We're so much more powerful now than we are usually. Okay. So going into Wednesday, we have Neptune backing up into Pisces and the sun moving forward into Scorpio. And here's what I want to say, because Jennifer was talking about how we have that grand trine in air signs, and we do. We have that grand trine of air signs. We've been dealing with that. We also have a grand trine in water signs, and so that's part of what that symmetry is. It's going on above our heads, and it's kind of shifting from air back to water now. So we're going to have more of a grand trine in water signs where lately, we've had a lot of ease with planning and conversations, and we're still dealing with that. But we also have a lot of ease with connection and emotion and intuition. So, that's what's all going on for us right now. But now it's going to shift more over to the emotional stuff because we've got Neptune going back into Pisces. We got the sun moving on into Scorpio, where Mercury and Mars are. Okay, so things are going back to a little bit more of a watery vibration for us. And that has been this whole year, moving out of water and earth things forward into fire and air things, and then back into water and earth things, and then back into fire and air things next year. And so that's, I mean, that's where we are. Like, we're in the forward, back, before the forward. Okay. So if
Right.
it feels like you're revisiting some things that you didn't want to revisit, or if you feel like it's taking some time to get through some stuff that you thought we were going to make more progress on right now, understand that the progress is coming, but these things take some time to unfold in real time. And with Neptune going back into Pisces, back into its rulership, I expect some classic tunes to be revisited. I expect some classic styles to be revisited for us while Neptune is in Pisces. because when it goes forward into Aries again, the music and the styles and the art are going to get all new again, friends. So Wednesday, getting back on track. Neptune goes back in Pisces. The sun moves forward into Scorpio. So happy birthday to all of my Scorpio friends and loved ones. You all really are a big part of my life. So happy birthday to you. And Wednesday, the 22nd, sun moves into Scorpio. When the sun moves into Scorpio, this is when our focus shifts. Okay, we're out of the early fall and into the middle of the fall. Okay, and so we see that season change shifting around us, and we are also we are also sort of going a little more within. This is more of an internal feeling. So, with our work, social, and civic lives, because that's the sun, it's who we are out in public. We're being a little bit reflective about how we behave there, what comes up for us there. Perhaps what makes us not feel good about ourselves, what makes us feel better about ourselves, where we are being inauthentic, and where we are being authentic, how we can be more authentic and come across more authentic in the world is especially very important to us at this time of year. And that's Scorpio. Scorpio can't stand inauthenticity, so do your best to be your real self, and that can take us on quite a journey. Going through Scorpio means going through Halloween, going through that point where we don't turn back from going to the darkest point of the year, which we really aren't going to turn back now. But that's where the veil thins. That's where we really get in touch with the realm of spirit, with the spirit of things that we are doing, the spirit of the holidays coming up, right? We use the word spirit in so many different ways this time of year, but it's really about bringing light at a time when things are getting darker. So first we acknowledge the darkness, and then we get into the bringing light. So that's the sun in Scorpio. And then coming up on Thursday, Jupiter squares Chiron. And that's kind of a big one. This is one that we're moving in and out of. But like Chiron has been conjunct to Eris, so there's been a little bit of rebelliousness in our desire to solve problems lately. Have you noticed? There's been a little bit of extra anger, a little rage expressed, a little bit of a desire to not scream into the void, but scream like yell truth to power. That's been Chiron conjunct to Eris in Aries. Like people are really ready to uh, set things off, to get themselves to get their points across, to have a success and have things the way we need them for ourselves. And Jupiter is squaring that now. So Jupiter is going to tend to expand this this challenging time where we are facing our deep fears, and we're facing the things that we feel wounded about, and we're facing some things that we've come to believe based on that, and we're growing as a result of facing those things. Okay, so it's a time for expansion. It's a time for really being able to see where you're getting stopped, because square, it makes this kind of a stop sign. Show where you're getting stopped and say, no, this is my growth path, and now that I've been stopped and I see that, I'm moving forward. Okay, really think about your growth path this week.
Is it? I think it's strange, like we're talking about this astrology and, the conversation that we were having about, I feel like I've already had that moment. And so now I'm trying to figure out how to work with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if that's still part of my psychicness, like, because it always is like 2 or 3 days ahead of the energy that I'm already like, like seeing it,
Mm-hmm.
moving through it and taking, I don't know. Isn't that odd? Because
Well, as these, like when we say Jupiter is squaring Chiron on Thursday, like it takes Jupiter about a year to get through a sign. It takes Chiron over
oh,
10 years to get through a sign. So these things lock into place over time. It's possible to feel that square as it's coming up and be feeling the results
mm,
of that square as it's coming up. This is the time when you'll feel it the most, this Thursday. And then as we get past that, then it diminishes over time. All of these energies sort of They sort of fade in and then fade out. And depending on how quickly those planets are moving, that's how quickly that will happen. So especially with Jupiter and Chiron, two slower moving planets, definitely you're going to feel that days in advance. And you might have already had these experiences where you're, trying to grow, having your fears and your deep beliefs, your wounds challenged. You might really be feeling that already for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Thank you.
Not to try to explain anything away, but I think that a lot of people have that experience, especially those of us who follow astrology, because we're sort of paying attention to things as they're coming in, and like, oh, that's coming up. All right, yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's why I like astrology. And I mean, I don't know as much as you do. I know enough to be dangerous, but that's kind of what I like about it is being able to use that energy or, work through that energy. And I mean, honestly, I just try to harness that energy for my best good.
Right, exactly.
My
We
golden
just
egg.
we just use this information to try to navigate our lives toward more prosperity and success, friends.
Yes,
That's
yes,
that's what we can do, so that's what we do.
yes.
And then coming up on Saturday, Mercury. Okay, so that trine, that grand trine in water signs, it starts around Wednesday, like really kicking up for us, but it continues to kick up for us through the end of this week and through next week, that grand trine in water signs. So, make those connections, have those heart to heart conversations. This should be, if it doesn't feel easy to connections and have those conversations, you should find a lot of relief on the other side of it. Okay, even though it might be difficult to say what you feel you need to say, once you say it, it's off your chest. That connection is made, the other person understands what you're feeling, and you're going to get clarity on how to move forward. Okay, and I'm saying you're going to get understanding at this time. Things are going to flow easily between people, emotionally and intuitively. Jennifer and I, we spend a lot of time together, so we're pretty intuitively linked with one another. But like this last couple of days, it's just been right in there, locked in. We did a group reading for about 8 people last night, and we were pulling all the same cards and everything. So those people that you're already very intuitively and emotionally connected with, they already feel it if you're going through something and you need to have a hard conversation. If you need their support, ask them for their support. If you need to tell them something that's hard to tell them, sit them down and tell them, okay, we're ready for it. We're ready to be open and emotional and allowing other people to feel what they feel. So that's that grand trine in water signs. And I really think it is the big news of the week.
Mm.
Come Sunday of next week, the moon will move on into Capricorn. It'll be time to get serious and get back down to business for the following Monday. And then the next week is Halloween, Samhain. The veil thins. We get the day of spookies. We get the day of the dead in some places. So that's gonna be an exciting thing to talk about next week.
Excellent. Ooh, so it sounds like this is a good week for conversations. It sounds like there's some healing coming in.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like the more open we are, the more information we'll get. Like I always ask for truth and clarity because
Mm-hmm.
I just really appreciate the truth so much. And oftentimes we don't get it. So this might be the time where you get to speak your truth, have your truth, you know, change your story, like whatever it is, there's a lot of endings and beginnings too. And it may be that you're ending a relationship with someone, like, and it's okay. You're just going to pick up something else. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
just do this and unburden yourself.
right.
Just
We're at
do
a
that.
point where something's got to give, and the astrology is allowing things to give, to shift, to move around. Okay, so just do it.
Trust me, it's a nightmare. It's me. I have been personally violated by this astrology this last week and two, being since it's my birthday, my,
Yes.
so uh, this has been difficult. I've got the Chiron in Aries, so there's been a lot of healing. And even though I'm asking for it, I want it, I want to participate in it. It's challenging to say the least. And I know that I have more to work forward through. But I'm so glad that my forward motion is this week because it really sets up. I feel like I can be my best brave self right
Mhm.
now, and that I will, probably not get like the joyous results because I'm ever hopeful that everything is just like, yay. But I may not get the results that I want or that I even perceive that I might get. But at least the result I will have again is just getting that off of my chest. And, the guidance is, like, no, somebody doesn't know unless you tell them. Like, people don't know unless you tell them, and if you've been hiding from something from yourself, you've got to tell yourself,
Mhm.
to do it or whatever it is,
You know
because
how they
now is the
say
time.
you know how they say you make one you miss 100% of the shots you don't take?
Yes.
It's the
Yes.
same thing, like,
Right.
if you want something, you have to ask for it.
Right.
Basically, that's it. If you
Right.
need more respect, if you need more compensation, if you
Right.
need more attention, if you need more affection, if you need less of any of that,
Right. Right.
seriously, you have to ask for it. You have to tell people what you want if you want to get it.
Right. Be like Travis Kelsey and miss an opportunity to meet Taylor Swift and then go on a podcast and gripe about how you didn't get to meet Taylor Swift. Like, seriously, I have known so many people in my life that would not ask out the pretty person, the popular person, and missed out on
Mhm.
connections big time. So if that's you too, like, what
Yeah.
they're saying now is shoot your shot. I don't
Yeah.
necessarily like that terminology for a lot of reasons, but here we go. Algorithm, you're welcome.
Especially with the grand trine vibes, and especially the grand trine in
Right.
water vibes, because Jupiter is involved there, so, definitely, along the lines of, it's a good time to have conversations. It's also just a good time to show up in places where you want to, have good fortune. It's a good time to, make yourself known to people that you want to have good fortune with. It's a good time to be making contacts. It's a good time to be in touch with your friends and your network associates right now, even just in a friendly way, just to let them know, I know you're out there. I'm thinking about you, because these connections are all very helpful and supportive for us right now. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, and don't cut yourself off of here's what's important. Don't cut yourself off of a growth opportunity for you because this is a time for healing and growth. And don't cut yourself off of a better opportunity
Yeah.
by settling for less, by choosing to overlook the obvious and not going along your way or not having the conversation about what it is that you want right now because it's so important for your healing.
Mhm. All right, friends. Healing is the name of the game, I think, this week. Really, like healing with
Tarot?
words, healing with emotions, taking good care of ourselves and the people around us. And it should be easy, and we should be able to support one another very well. So, getting into the tarot, I want to do a tarot card for how do we make the best of a grand trine in air signs, because that's one thing that we're dealing with. And then I want to do a tarot card for how do we make the best of a grand trine in water signs.
I
So,
feel personally violated by this.
what's the difference between air and water, Jennifer?
One can be contained and one can't. No, I'm lying. All of it can be contained. What is the difference between them?
Mhm.
I mean, what do you mean by that?
I like the element air is about intellect, it's about
Oh,
planning, it's about
right.
how we
Okay.
converse with one another,
Right. Yeah.
right?
I'm not the
And
person to talk elements like that, but
and the
I
element
will
water.
say water is about intuition. It's about emotion.
Mhm,
Um, for me, it's about a depth, period,
mhm,
a depth of something. And, the air is about intellect. It's about knowledge. It's about, it's really for me about speech. It's about words. It's about how you use your words, using your words. It's about music, you know.
how
So
high you can fly?
how high you can fly, and the water is how long can you hold your breath. There you go. How high
That's
can
got
you
me
fly and how long can you hold your breath?
that's
Because
got me
that's
thinking
the
about
extremes.
Beyonce's country album right there.
Sometimes I don't know why I go to extremes.
Okay, so how do we make the best of a grand trine in air signs? A grand trine that makes it easy and supportive for us to
Grow
plan,
wings.
communicate, to fly as high as we can. Four of Wands. Okay, so first of all, engage your partners, like the people that your collaborators, the people that you work with, and make sure that, you're celebrating the successes that you share. Definitely, when you've had some successes, if you've had some recently, mark them. If you're working on a success, like, pat yourself on the back for every part of the goal that you get, okay? And work together with your comrades, your friends, your cohorts, to bring about the successes that you're looking for.
Remind me what that card was for again?
It's the Four of Wands.
No. What was the question, or what was
Oh,
the
how do we make the best of a grand trine in air signs?
okay. Yeah. Yeah. How do you make the best of the day?
I
Yeah.
really think this is about, relying on the people that we collaborate with to help us get to the next level.
Right. This is about collaborating, and kind of like what I said, I love a good protest. I do. I really, really do. But it's not doing anything. Nobody cares. People are putting pictures of King Trump on there. Like we're at this point in our idiocracy that it just doesn't matter. So we need some action. We need to,
Mhm.
from those groups that gathered, those thousands of people, did 10 of you exchange phone numbers or email addresses or something and have an idea of what you do next? Because if that's not what's happening, and I don't mean signing up to vote, I don't mean talking to the Democrats or I don't mean doing any of that. I mean really trying to figure out between these other 10 people what it is that you want, how it is that you're going to assemble to do that, the best ways in which to do that. Are you forming a book club where you just read the Constitution and understand it? Like, I don't know, but uh, what are you doing? What are the actions you're taking with these people that you're gathering with, and where do you gather with them safely?
Yeah.
And where you gather with them safely, continue gathering.
Continue gathering, definitely. There's definitely an element of this of like, yeah, we went to the protest, we held the signs, like what's next? What are we going to do here? All
Right,
right. The wands are about action. It's about what do you plan to do next?
right. What
All
is the
right.
next ritual that has to take place? Like how are you going to make that happen?
Right. We've done the protest. Now what's the next thing?
Right, right.
All right. So now how do we make the best of a grand trine in water signs? In air signs, it's about, continuing to collaborate, continuing to be engaged with the people who have the same ideas as we do. But in water signs, we have the Nine of Pentacles. Oh,
Mm,
yes. Be like, I would say rest on whatever makes you feel the most emotionally secure at this time. Move in the direction, flow your words, flow your energies, flow your emotions, your desires in the direction of what makes you feel abundantly secure.
mm. I'm unfortunately, because of the way this is set up, I can't see the card, so I'm not really I'm not attached to it. So
Okay.
I take your advice on that. I would really need to see it. You can hold it. It doesn't matter.
I know. I'm
Yeah,
just
okay.
holding it.
Thank you though. I was like, you try
So,
hard.
so the nine of Pentacles, this is really a card about, uh, like knowing that you have cultivated something foundational that is secure for yourself and being able to sort of sit back and enjoy that, being able to rest easy in the knowledge of that security. And if we're talking about a grand trine in air signs, which is about our intuition, our connections, our emotional connections, that kind of thing, then I think we're moving toward whatever makes us feel more emotionally secure. Okay. And sometimes emotional security doesn't feel all that rational.
Yeah. So I was gonna
So
say,
to be able to take like practical, we've got to be able to do take like practical steps to do emotional security.
Yeah. And emotional security isn't our addictions that we feed either. Like it has to be some other form of emotional security, like some real honest to goodness. Um, what am I looking for here? Emotional. Oh, I
Self-love.
no, no.
Okay.
I've lost the word here, but well, oh well.
Okay.
uh,
Emotional foundation. Um,
yeah, no, please don't guess it.
okay, I won't.
It's really not something you're gonna guess. So
All right. So this is how we best take advantage of a grand trine in water signs. And, really it's to be working toward um, feeling secure in a practical way. Okay. Now, we can't just demand of everybody that they do things that make us feel secure if it doesn't make everybody else secure. Okay. This is really about, everybody being able to find that sense of security that they need. So we're shifting around, we're making adjustments. Things are changing very easily right now. If you get an opportunity to lean on something that gives you more of a sense of security, definitely do that.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not about going deeper in the water. It's about the fact that, if we're triple water, all of that water on top of you is bound to toss you down to almost the near bottom.
Hmm.
So, what is practical and what you've always thought was practical may not be your practical answer in 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 containing this. Okay. So
Right.
really leaning on addictions right now is not recommended. Find
Mhm.
another one. The old stuff isn't working. It's
Right.
not going to work right now.
Mhm.
Right. So we just have to find a different way of doing that. This is the time to pivot and figure out what else we're going to do and how to make ourselves lighter
Mhm.
in that heavy, heavy water.
Definitely.
We've got to be
Definitely.
able to float a little bit
Mhm. For sure.
without panic paddling.
Without panic paddling.
Yes.
So, again, stay engaged in your collaborations, friends. That's one of the best ways to maintain that emotional health, that sense of security that we're all looking for is to really stay engaged in those collaborations with the people that we work the best with, who know how to push us up and what we're capable of. Yeah.
Yes. I agree with that.
All right.
Yay.
That's our reading for this week, friends.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today here on Astro Insights Live. We are live every Sunday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, talking about the astrology for next week and doing a tarot card reading. Thank you so much for your patience as I adjusted my camera and kind of lost my train of thought. And before we really close out, I don't know the words to say, but the human spirit world lost a really wonderful human astrologer, and just feel over emotional about this right now. Quan
Okay.
Tracy Cherry.
Quan Tracy Cherry was a popular Kansas City astrologer, and he passed really to a lot of us unexpectedly last week. And I'm still not clear on the circumstances. I feel really blessed that I got to meet with Quan this year and get a reading from him, and even just spoke to him like a month and a half ago. So, I feel sad because I'm going to miss out on more opportunities to have this person around in my life. And I feel really happy for Quan that he has been set free, and that, I believe it's clear that he is somewhat dispersed into the atmosphere around us. When I think about him, especially when I start to get a little bit down, I can hear that laughter, and I can hear him, like, don't cry for me. That part's over. The painful part is over for Quan. So I'm happy for him, and I'm sad and I miss him at the same time.
Yeah, I'm
And
happy. I
and
just saying it out loud is kind of just like a finalization.
I thank him for being a glowing light in this world.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So hug your people, take care of yourselves, and by all means, subscribe to our channel and come see us again next Sunday at 10 a.m., where we will talk about astrology and do a little bit of free tarot card reading.
Yeah.
Thank you, Melanie Rose.
Friends, see you in the next video, Thursday night at 7.